DC, like I said, they control these characters, and we went through a period where DC was like, we've got plans for Deathstroke that don't involve Arrow.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
That changed at the end of this year, because I basically, we knew we were going to Leanne Yu, and we had to see Slade Wilson, so I went to DC and I said, listen, I know you guys have plans for him, and that's all cool, but you got to give us this one, because we can't go to Leanne Yu and not see Slade Wilson. And as part of those conversations, we also were like, and he'll need to be in the season premiere of season 6, because that ties into our plans, and it would be really great if we could tell really a Slade Wilson centric story. We've never really truly done that, so we're doing a cool 2-parter, episodes 5 and 6 this year, where the flashbacks will be from Slade's perspective, and it's very much a Slade Oliver two-hander. It's always great having Manu on the show, and again, it's like we just have to operate, within the requirements of DC.
Hey everybody, so there's all kinds of Deathstroke bombs dropping all over the DC universe. So there's Justice League Deathstroke. I'll explain what's going on with him. Joe Manganiello's a badass. Even though there have been a bunch of changes going on behind the scenes with the Batman franchise, there's still going to be Deathstroke stuff happening in the DCEU. And then obviously you've probably heard about the Deathstroke origin story that they're doing on TV. So that's going to be a 2-part episode, and they've already revealed a whole bunch of information. They've cast Joseph Wilson, who's going to be Jericho from the comics, and we're in the middle of a couple new giveaways. So I wanted to explain what's going on with giveaways this season for like all the DC stuff. So I'll explain that at the end of the video. We'll do the Deathstroke stuff first, but make sure you subscribe to get everything, because we are getting ready to roll into all this stuff coming back. So let's start with DCEU stuff first, because I know people have been asking me to do a Batman video because of all the stuff that's been flying around. Even Jeff Johns has been making fun of people for spreading rumors that aren't true about what's going on with the Ben Affleck Batman franchise. So there's a solo Batman movie that's happening. People thought that it wasn't going to be connected to the DCEU, but it turns out the reason why people thought that was wrong. The director came out, clarified statements that he made, and just explained that his Batman movie was going to be relatively self-contained. What he's saying makes it sound more like it's going to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 thing, where yes, it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, yes, there's small points of crossover, but like how many times do the Guardians talk about what happened during Avengers? They don't talk about it at all. So just assume that that's what's going on. But what happened is that the Deathstroke of the DCEU, Joe Manganiello, they did all these screen tests. You probably saw the teaser videos that I did for it earlier this year. They had originally intended him to be a part of the Jeff Johns written Batman movie. Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns wrote a treatment for that solo movie, but then when the new director came in, he said that he wanted to find the character himself just because he hadn't been a part of the DCEU. And then, of course, people were asking Joe Manganiello, are you still going to be in this new Batman movie if they're changing the story? And his basic response is that yes, he knows, but he can't say. Like, kind of gives the shrug answer, which is typical default answer for most of the big comic book movie actors. They can't say anything. They have snipers trained on them, ready to take them out if they spoil stuff. So you probably heard about the crazy number of DC films they just announced were in development. There's like 3 different Joker movies all by themselves. There's even Suicide Squad 2 that just got a new director. So there's so much stuff happening. Of course, Deathstroke is still going to be a part of the DCEU, even if he does get taken out of the Batman movie. So sort of segueing into TV Deathstroke, as that clip from Mark Guggenheim implied, there's been a lot of issues with them using the character on Arrow because of the plans that DC has for him in other places. That just means that because he's going to be in the movies, they don't want him to be on TV all the time.
It's interesting because like there's a whole bunch of new characters on that show.
Yeah.
To be honest, in the first episode, which I can't really talk about, can I? But there was this moment where I'm meant to be with the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And this scene was written that, the group and Slade Deathstroke run off together. And I said to Mark Guggenheim, I said, is this going to be a musical? Like, no. No, but I asked him, I said, it sort of doesn't feel right, does it? And Mark agreed with me, and so there's a very specific scene where I say, it's in the trailer. There's a trailer that's out now for season 6.
Hey, Oliver says there's a boat on the Eastern Shore. You lot won't make it in time. I'll take my own chances.
And I say, I'll take my own chances.
Yeah.
And I walk off. And I'm kind of just wanting to preserve the strength of the relationship between Slade and Oliver, just on that level, because it's such a sort of standalone little relationship that I just don't want to get caught up in the group and be like, hey, high five, yeah, you know.
But like he says, come to this season, they were going back to the island, so he went to DC and was like, look, we can't go back to the island and blow everything up and not explain what happened to Deathstroke, so you have to let us use the character. So they're like, okay, fine, you can use Deathstroke. We'll do a self-contained 2-part story arc. It'll sort of sync up with the theme of family. And Oliver will help Deathstroke find his son, Joseph, in present day. Because he's still alive, we know that Grant Wilson exists on an alternate Earth, and there's been no mention of Rose Wilson yet. So they've cast their Jericho, but the character description actually reads a little bit like he might become the new version of Ravager on the TV show. Because Jericho and Grant are like 2 completely different types of characters in the comics. So the TV description reads, Joe Wilson is followed in his father's footsteps by joining the secret Australian military agency ASIS. After years of brutal combat, Joe now finds himself in a remote Casnian prison under the alias Kane Wolfman, fighting for his life. So during the 2-part episode, they're going to tell the Deathstroke origin story, so there'll be flashbacks for Deathstroke, and there'll be stuff happening in present day where he and Oliver go to Casnia to break his son out of that prison. So you hear the description for how Joe Wilson is now working for this special agency. He just sounds like he's turning into Grant Wilson. Grant Wilson went to Hive, they gave him the serum that turned him into Crazy Ravager, and then that sort of threw him into the path of the Teen Titans. He tried to take them down and ended up dying in the process. So it was a very tragic end for that character, but because they've already done Hive on Arrow, and because Titans, the TV show, will probably want to use that organization, there have probably been a couple minor changes to Arrow, so I'll try to explain that when the episodes air. You may have also spotted the Easter egg in there. Joseph's code name is Kane Wolfman. So that's an amalgam of Adeline Kane, who's his mother, Deathstroke's wife, and Marv Wolfman, the creator of the character from the comics. So I think the big question here is what are they going to do with the Deathstroke character after this 2-part episode? Will he pop back up during the back half of the season? It's a bit of a Superman situation where it's like the TV shows get to use the really big characters, but only a couple times. So because we already have Vigilante, Michael Emerson, and Richard Dragon coming on to Arrow, it sounds like if Deathstroke does come back in the back half of the season, it'll be very limited or not at all, and he'll just pop up on Titans from now on. So I can't say a whole lot about Deathstroke on Titans. They've just cast all the characters. I've already done a big video for that, so I'll add a link to that video at the end of this. I'm really excited about it, but it won't premiere till next year. But the other really important thing, people were asking a lot of questions about the giveaways. There have been so many new subscribers that have come to the channel. If you found me for the first time this year, then welcome to the channel. You guys are totally awesome. I try to do weekly giveaways just as a way to say thank you to everybody. The rules are really simple. They're only open to subscribers, so if you're not, all you have to do is be a subscriber and then just leave a comment as a sort of way to make yourself known. I pick the winners from the comments. Usually what I do is when you win a giveaway, I'll put your channel icon in the video and say your name. Like, hey, you won, please private message me so I can get your contact details. When I say that, if you're relatively new to YouTube or you're not watching on desktop, there's an About page for my YouTube channel with a little button that says Message. You click that, you send me a private message just to let me know, hey, I won a giveaway. And then once I see that, I'll reply to you and arrange for you to get the giveaway. So in the spirit of that, I will say congratulations to the latest Flash Ring giveaway winner, Generic Pop-Tart. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Right now, it's for the Flash Ring. It'll be for Justice League IMAX tickets when those go on sale in another week or two. So hopefully that explains everything. I'll just remind everybody about giveaway stuff every once in a while because there's always a bunch of new people that come in every season for all the shows. So while you wait for everything, you can click here for brand new Thor footage and you can click here to learn about all those new Titans characters. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.